Here we have the CF-WDW07. This is the wireless screen counterpart to the CF-07 in one of my earlier teardowns. So we'll just turn it on. Okay, so we've got various settings. Backlight control doesn't really seem to do much on this particular one. So here you go. So basically, as I said in the last video about the CF-07, they broadcast their own wireless network, which this display connects to. I mean, you can just see in the background Windows XP there. This is a battery, but I don't know how long this battery's going to last. And then we've got the various settings, so this is where you can choose a wireless profile that it uses, but I don't remember putting a password on this, so don't know what the deal is with that. And then yeah, so we've got various firmware. That's the full model number. I do actually have a Japanese screen somewhere, and it's much thinner. Even though it has the same part number, it's much thinner. Whereas this one here, same model number, sorry. As you can see, it's much thicker. It's got a built-in fingerprint reader there, which I can never seem to get to actually work. I don't know if it needs extra drivers on the PC side, and it's also got a magnetic stripe reader. Anyway. I did briefly mention these buttons on the side in the CF-07 video. So the bottom one here, if you push that, your next tap will be a right click. The one above it says capture. Now this allows you to take screenshots. Don't know if you saw that in the top corner just there. But for the life of me, I can't work out how you get those captures to appear. Yeah, so it's basically like a screenshot thing, really. So yeah, this is the same one that we connected to in my first CF-07 video, so I'll not go through too much of the software. So I'm not going to take this particular display apart because it works, and it's the only one of its kind that I've got. So I'll turn this one off, and then we'll take apart the Japanese one. Okay, so here's the Japanese one. It's all Phillips head screws, thankfully. So yeah, this one is the strap that allows you to hold it as you would a regular tablet. And yeah, so much like the other one, it's got a stylus holder, but unfortunately all the ones I have don't have styluses, or stylus. Yeah. Battery slot. Although for some reason the battery door doesn't seem to lock anymore. It used to, but I don't know what happened. Turns out I'm a dumbass. That's why it doesn't lock. So yeah, we've got the DC input to charge a battery, so you can actually charge 2 in the CF-07 and 1 in this. And then we've got another serial port. I don't really know how that works. I mean, I would assume that you need some kind of drivers on the CF-07, but how the operating system knows that you've got something plugged into here, I really don't know. But what you will notice is there's no slots or no sliding doors for a fingerprint reader or the magnetic stripe reader either. So yeah, I'll just take these screws out around the edges and I will pop back in. And we're done. So we'll lift the back cover off. There's a few wires connecting the screen. Looks like we've got the backlight here, so I'll take that one off first. Okay. So looks like the smaller ribbon here is for the buttons down the side that I showed you earlier. Okay. This one looks like the actual LCD interface. This one here looks like a touch screen. Well, it's for the touch screen anyway. Alright, so that's the two halves separated. So the LCD is a Toshiba. I mean, I'm not going to tear it down too far because it's an LCD. I mean, what more do you want to see, really? So yeah, this looks like the main board of the screen. So we've got the inverter for the backlight at the bottom, which is a separate package. There's the cable for it. So we'll take even more screws out. And we'll have a look at what's behind here. But I think we're likely going to find something similar to what we found in that in the CF-07. Some kind of PCMCIA card with like a custom connector or something like that. Unless on the screens they built it onto the board itself. Again, I've never actually been inside one of these before. But looks like there's definitely quite a lot of space. You got lots of open space there. Missed a few screws there. After all, that was just a cover for the battery. Okay, so yeah, came off. And yeah, I reckon that this under here is the wireless card for the display. here's the one from the actual CF-WDW07 unit itself. It doesn't look that much different. I can't imagine that they made two different versions, one for the unit and one for the actual display. It'd be far cheaper for them just to manufacture the same one. So the one with a big metal case around it is one that came from the actual CF-WDW07, and the one on the other side is what came from the display. And yeah, they've got the same FCC ID. And they look, well, they're exactly the same, really. So yeah, my theory was right. It looks like the wireless antenna for that goes just into there, just on that bit, because that's actually different to the case. Because this, it feels like and sounds like metal, but I don't know. I suppose it is part of the Tough Book series, so whatever metal the Tough Books were made out of, it's going to be quite likely that that's what this is made out of. So yeah, underneath here is I suppose you could call it the CMOS battery, but it isn't really a battery, it's struck down as well. It's a capacitor. Don't even see the markings just on which way? There. So they've not used a regular CR 2032 or 232 or something. So yeah, here's a main board for the screen. It's maybe a little bit out of my expertise. I'm going to assume that this big one here is the actual processor. It's SH3, which I have heard of in things like PDAs and stuff like that. So that's likely the memory. Ooh, can't see it. That's likely the memory. Epson. I would just say something to do with a printer, but obviously that's not the case. So I guess maybe that's like the Southbridge that has the serial port, or that controls the serial port, perhaps. Got the battery connected just there. Yeah, that's pretty much all she wrote, really.